what we did in the last. So last week we talked about project management life cycle, where we look at what project management life cycle is. So a project management life cycle is a series of phases that a project passes through from start to completion. And we looked at the 5 phases of project management life cycle: initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and control, then closure. And I said that most times we may come across it as four. The reason is because execution, monitoring, and control sometimes go hand in hand, right? And that's the reason why sometimes we may find it as four. Now we started by looking at the project initiation, where we talked about laying foundation of the project.
Can you guys hear him, or am I the only one that's not hearing him?
We are not hearing him.
I can't hear him. Oh. I cannot hear him.
We also can't hear him.
Mr. Kande, can you hear us? You are muted. Unmute yourself. You are muted.
Hello, am I audible? I don't know why the network is kicking me out.
Go ahead.
Yes, you are. You're audible. Yes, we can hear you.
Is it his own that is doing this thing? Another one.
Please, am I audible now?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I'm trying to share my screen again. Please, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I said initiation project management is one of the most important parts of project management. In the initiation phase, now in the initiation phase is where the idea is being brought into concrete planning. Now, someone have an idea that they believe everybody needs this product. Now, it's just an idea. Now, we need to fan it. We need to put flesh to it. We need to make it look real. Initiation phase is where we see the end product before even starting. The initiation phase is where it marks the beginning where the project is identified, a business case is established, and initial approval is secured. Now, one or some of the deliverables in this phase, the first one is a business case. Now, a business case is a justification document that outlines the problem or opportunity, expected benefit, cost, risks, alignment with organizational goals. It answers the fundamental question, why should we do this project? Why should we do this project? Why don't we do another project? In this initiation phase is where we obtain organizational commitment and funding by demonstrating the project value and visibility. What this simply means is, it is where we ask ourselves the main question: is this product viable? Is this project important? Is it necessary? Should we go ahead with it? What is going to be the benefit of this project? What is the possible outcome of this project? Now, this document aligns the problem and the opportunity statement. This is where we create the problem or opportunity statement. This is where we have the expected benefits. This is where we have a high-level cost estimate, like a budget. This is not a fully running budget. This is just a high-level estimate of an assumption of what we will be spending. This is where we look at the risk and we assess it. And this is where we make strategic alignment. Now, the next is a project charter. A project charter is a formal document that authorizes the existence of a project. That means this document tells us that, yes, this project had to be in action. And this project document, this project charter, gives the project manager the authority to apply organizational resources to the project activities. Now, the essential component of a charter is project purpose, objectives, high-level scope, stakeholder, project manager authority, success criteria, high-level risk, and budget estimate. The third one is the stakeholder register. This is where we identify who is important, who has high power, who has low interest in the project. And the best way to go about it is having a table where we have the high power, high interest, high power, low interest, low power, high interest, and the low power, low interest. Every of our stakeholder must fall into one of these categories. The fourth is the initial scope definition. This is where we establish the boundary, what should be included and not included in the project. Right? Now, the key components of this is project objectives, major deliverables, in scope terms, that means what should be included in the project, out of scope terms, what should not be included in the project, constraints and high-level milestones. Then we have the visibility study. This is just an evaluation process to assess whether the project is viable or not. Whether the project is viable or not. Some projects may be viable, but they may not be economically scalable. For example, one of the examples I gave in our last class is, because I want to buy a recharge card from my app, from my bank, and I couldn't. Doesn't mean I now have an idea of why don't we print out this recharge card and sell it as paper. Is it a good idea? Yes, it's a very good idea. But is it scalable? No, because we have moved past that stage of paper recharge card. Now everybody wants to buy it at the comfort of their home without going out. The core deliverable checklist for the initiation stage, we have the business case, we have the project charter, stakeholder register, high-level scope statements, visibility study. right? These are the core deliverables checkpoints for project initiation phase. Now, I said it in our last class, you may not have them separately. They have all this in a document and you use them as it is. So you should not be expecting that some of these documents will be separate. Some have to be together, right? Depending on the project you are working on. Now we have our project planning. And I said this is where we create the roadmap for the project execution. Now the project planning phase is where we make the step-by-step plan to achieve the project goal. Now we have agreed that this project is viable, this project has economic value, this project is doable. Now we start the major plan. How do we go about it? What and what do we need in this project? Now our first delivery.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you still hear me?
Yes, sir.
We are listening.
Okay. This is the master document plan that defines the project and how they will be executed step by step, right? How they will be executed step by step. Now, there are so many things that are involved in this planning phase, but we'll be looking at the core deliverables for the planning phase. So we have the project management plan, and the key components are baseline. We have our scope baseline, schedule baseline, cost baseline. So what is baseline? Baseline simply means what we initially plan to do. So we create a baseline. Okay, this project is going to take 5 weeks. There is a baseline for the 5 weeks project. The cost of this project is 2 million. That is our baseline, right?
Your voice has gone.
Let's move on. We have our scope statements and WBS. Scope statements and WBS. Now, our scope, our project management scope provides a detailed description of the project scope. Let me reshare my screen. Sorry about that. A minute, let me reshare my screen.
Okay, sir.
Can we see my screen now?
Sir.
Can we see my screen?
No.
Stop now. Can you see my screen now? It's
It's
still
not
showing that I'm
showing.
sharing my
No,
screen.
it's not showing.
Let me repeat it again. Can you see my screen now?
No, we cannot see your screen.
Can we see it now?
No, we can't see anything.
No, sir. Screen is not showing. Doesn't come up.
Yours.
What about now?
It has come up.
Can see it now.
Okay, thank you. So we have our scope statement and WBS. WBS simply means work breakdown schedule. Work breakdown schedule. Now, the scope statement is a detailed description of the project scope. This is where we have to write our detailed description. What should be included, what should not be included in the project. Now, please, I want us to take note. When we say scope, we don't mean what should only be included. What should be included and not included in the project is what we call the scope statement. Now, the WBS is just a structure, is an hierarchical decomposition of the total scope of work that will be done. And this is broken using deliverables and milestones. I'll be showing us an example of the WBS. We have the project schedule and Gantt charts. The project schedule and Gantt charts. Now, the project schedule is a timeline that shows when the project activity will start and finish. Now, a Gantt chart is just a visual representation of the project schedule. That is what a Gantt chart is. It shows the task name, it shows the start time and the end date, durations, discrepancies, milestones, and progress. Now we have the resource plan and the RCI metrics. The resource and the RACI metrics. Now, a resource management plan is a document that shows how project resources will be identified, acquired, managed, and released. Now, why this is important is because at the end of the project, we will release some of this. We will release some of the resources, and because of that,
Status plus on this
we
project.
need a resource plan on how to manage it. What do we need? When do we need it? And how
Click your mic.
and how we are going to use it. Now, the RACI metrics defines the role, the responsibility for project tasks using 4 categories. Who is responsible, who is accountable, who is consulted, and who should be informed. Responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed. Then we have the cost estimate and budget. The cost estimate and budget, I believe we all know this. Then we have the risk register. Now, in the risk register, what we simply do is to identify our risks, plan a mitigation plan. How do we monitor these risks? And if it happens, how do we mitigate it? How do we make changes if need arise? Other ones are the quality management plan, communication plan, procurement management plan, stakeholders engagement plan. Now, these are some of the core deliverables checklist for this plan. So today, I want us to look at ClickUp. I want us to look at ClickUp in today's class. So let me just open my screen. Sorry, I came into the class very late and I sincerely apologize. Without what we'll do today, we'll just start with the preliminaries today. Then in our next class, we will look at it properly. Now, ClickUp is an all-in-one project management tool where we can create our board view, we can create a sprint, we can create a Gantt chart, and we can create our resource management plan. Now, this is high level. This is an high level, but we'll be creating a Gantt chart using Excel. We'll be creating a Gantt chart using Excel. Any question? Sorry, before we move on, any question? Any question? Any question?
Hello. If I were you, the question I would ask is, how do I get this? Which one is it? Gantt chart you're using or ClickUp?
We're using ClickUp for today.
If I were you, the question I would ask is, how do I get ClickUp to my system? Is there an app? Is it an extension? Or how do I get it to my system? That should be the question. You shouldn't just be listening and not participating. Because after now, you should be able to know, where can I get ClickUp? How do I get it to my system, and how do I get to use it?
So ClickUp is a web application, and the purpose is to organize work in one place, track progress, assign responsibility, and collaborate with teammates. It's really a powerful tool. So it's a powerful tool that is used. And why do we use ClickUp? Now, number one, it has a work structuring system. Number two, it has a visibility engine and it has a control mechanism. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to share my ClickUp screen. Home. Okay. I've shared my screen. Can we see it?
No, sir, the screen is not showing.
The screen is not showing.
Okay.
Yes, it's showing now.
How do we create a ClickUp account? It is very easy. For those of us who are on our system or who can have access to our system, so let's just do this for today. Then we move to we know by Saturday we have the whole day for the ClickUp practical. Just search ClickUp. The first link you will have, or you just type clickup.com. Clickup.com. The first link, create an account. Now, why I choose ClickUp is ClickUp has free access. It has a free access. We can only pay when we want to scale up. The difference between ClickUp and Monday.com is Monday.com has a 14 days free trial. 14 days free trial, although it is very, very good. I have used it and it's really wonderful. But ClickUp has a longer free trial than Monday.com. Now, this is how the interface of ClickUp looks like. We have our space, we have our planner, we have the AI, we have the teams, we have a document, we have a database, and we have a whiteboard for communication. Now, let's take example. Let's look at this project I worked on some time ago. Now, another advantage of ClickUp is you can create a dashboard. You can create a dashboard on ClickUp. Please, those of us creating an account, have we created one? If you have created, can you just an emoji up? Let me know.
This is a smartphone, so I can't create my account now. Maybe I'll do that later after a class.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I expect everybody to create an account before the next class. So let's start by looking at
Okay, sir.
So let's start by looking at some of the tasks that was assigned. These are how we assign tasks. And if you notice, we assign it by even assigning it to persons. So it's a collaborative tool that you can use for your team. Now for Monday.com, I think you can only use 2 persons can only be on your team for 14 days for the free trial. If you want more, you need to add to it. This is an example of a Gantt chart that I created.
Yeah, I have a question.
Oh, hold on. Now this is just a simple an example that I created for someone. And if you check, if you can see, everybody is assigned to do a task. And each person's name is there with the task they are asked to do. So ClickUp has different view, which makes it easier. Now we have the overview, we have the list, we have the team, we have the calendar, we have the activity, we have the workload, we have the Gantt chart, we have the table view and the board view. Now, this is how the board view look like for those of us that will be using Trello. So I want to show this is how the board view look like. Now, if you remember when we talked about the Agile framework, we said we have the to do, in progress, review, and complete. Now, depending on what you are doing, now like this, we have the to do, in progress, complete. Some has review in between if he has to go through a review. And tasks can move from one phase to the other. Now, for example, all the tasks has not been done. Right? All these tasks has not been done. While we have all these tasks in progress. I just want to show you how our Gantt chart is going to look like. Now, we have all this in progress. Now, let's go back to our Gantt chart and see how the Gantt chart will look like. What we are doing today is just to look at how our ClickUp interface is. I'm trying to move back to October last year. Now, we can see all what had to be done. This and see the dates. October 28th. The green line shows the whole period of the tax. You can see October 28th to the last date of the tax. Is October 30th or October 29th. Now, in between all this, that is when we have the different tax, and our Gantt chart was able to show us what tax will be done and when. Let's look at the timeline. Oh. So we can see each task is represented here. We have a project charter and is in progress. We have a communication plan and is under to do. We have our project schedule is in progress and it's from 23rd to 25. This is a simple way, and that is why ClickUp is a bit more powerful than Excel. Now in Excel, for us to create all this, we need to create it sheet by sheet. But in ClickUp, all you need to do is create one, and ClickUp will give you an overview of all. And finally, ClickUp has what is called the automation. Now, the workflow automation is what happens if there is no interference. What happens if I don't want human interference? How do I move from to do to in progress? How do I move from in progress to review? How many weeks am I giving someone to review it? If they don't review it, it moves to completed. So this is what we use automation for. I believe we'll be exploring most of this by Saturday. Please, do we have any question? Apologies that the class for today was not flowing well. The network is really crazy around me. Any question?
Yes, sir, I have questions, sir. Yes, sir, I have questions, sir.
Yes, I can go ahead.
Sir, this ClickUp and Excel, it doesn't mean that they're not the same thing. Excel and ClickUp.
So Excel and ClickUp are not the same thing, but we can use it to achieve the same goal.
Then secondly, the Gantt chart and the ClickUp, which one is more better?
So Gantt chart is what we can build with ClickUp and we can build with Excel. So there are so many tools we can use to build Gantt charts. We can use our project MS Project or MX Planner. We can use a ClickUp. We can use Jira. We can use Asana. We can use Smartsheet. We can use Monday.com. Those are some tools we can use to build our Gantt charts.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any other question? Any question?
A quick question. When next we're having this session, is it feasible to have just like say a mock project that would
Yes, there is a plan.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, sir.
I'm with you, sir.
So this Gantt chart is also an application, like a web application.
No, sir. Let me go back to where I talked about Gantt charts. So a Gantt chart is a visual representation of a project schedule showing tasks as horizontal bars on the timeline. Please, do we get that?
Yes,
Could you repeat
So
it again?
what is the task name, the start and the end date, the duration, discrepancies, milestones, and progress. So when we talked about Gantt charts, we'll also be talking about the critical path model method. We're talking about the discrepancies. So you can see tools we can use. We can use Microsoft Project, Smartsheet, Asana, Monday.com, Excel, ClickUp to create our Gantt charts. Any question? Any other question?
I'm see and
If there's
see checking, sir.
we can call it a day. I believe Saturday will be far better. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Okay,
very
so
much.
yeah, before you go, the attendance link is on the comment, is on the chat box. So click the link and take your attendance.
Yeah, so I have one question.
Go ahead.
I've forgotten the website to access this ClickUp.
It's on your browser. Search it on your browser. Click up. You see it.
Just ClickUp.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir.
See, most of these terms that you guys are hearing for the first time, you go and research it so that it will not be sounding new to you every time we are mentioning it. This Gantt chart now we talk about from the first day we are mentioning Gantt chart. So the simplest understanding of Gantt chart is used to schedule activities in projects. Is used for scheduling. So, and is a tool for scheduling. For example, let's say if it's in accounting, you use Excel to build your invoice. You can use Excel to build your invoice. So also you can use Excel to build your Gantt chart. So there are other platforms where you can build your Gantt chart from. So, but building from Excel is like you are building from scratch. All these ClickUp, Asana, Monday.com, they are automated. You see how easy it is flowing when he's doing it on ClickUp. If it's on Excel, it takes days for it. So all these things now, they are automated. So following the trend on IT now, so these are automated, and most of them, yeah, of course, they are subscription based. So Excel is a free, Excel and spreadsheet, they are free platform where you build from scratch and all that. So when we were learning project management those days, you build Gantt charts from Excel, and you do it. By the time you take 1 week to do one Gantt chart, yeah. So you know that you are really doing well. But now it's a matter of minutes. You can come up with a Gantt chart. So that is it. Any other concern?
No, sir.
Okay, so you guys should sign attendance, then we can close for the day. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.